Serving his sixth term in the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Mike Conaway represents 29 counties in Texas's 11th congressional district, including Midland, Odessa, and San Angelo. And guess what? He's also a Permian Panther.
My junior year, we were 4-6 and really stunk up the place. And then my senior year, we won the state championship. And the differential there was the head coach. After the '64 season, both coaches at Odessa High School and Permian were both fired, and they hired new coaches for both. Fortunate to have a man named Gene Mayfield come from Borger, Texas, to coach us.
Hard to believe the Panthers were picked to finish last in the district in 1965, but nobody knew how much heart and determination the players would show under new head coach Gene Mayfield.
The blue chipper was Lynn Hassel. Played at University of Texas. Richard Denard, who's since passed, played well at Baylor. Tony Conley, who was maybe the biggest kid on the team, or one of the biggest kids on the team, was our fullback and outside linebacker. Tony played at Rice. Billy Dale, who was a junior, he also starred and lettered at University of Texas. Most of the rest of us were just kind of journeyman kind of players. Good coaching and inspiration from the coaching staff. We were able to cobble together 13-1 season and winning that first state championship for Permian. It started that long 30-plus year run in which Permian dominated much of high school football.
Mayfield wanted to run the football and play strong defense. The players simply got the job done.
It's just block, tackle, and if the other team doesn't score, you can't lose. And so we played good defense. The offense was pretty rudimentary. In fact, some of the other coaches were quoted in the papers during the season that Permian could come to the line of scrimmage and just call the play there, because we're either going to run dive right, dive left, trap right, trap left, and two sweeps, and that's about it. And we just executed those really well.
Our line was so solid, Conaway was part of that, we never worried about if the hole was going to be there. It was generally there.
The Panthers went on to win the school's first of 6 state football championships and put Odessa, Texas on the map well before Friday Night Lights.
Well, I saw in '65 something happen that I'm not convinced has ever happened in Texas high school football. A coach comes in with a complete new staff, complete new offense, a complete new defense, and in a period of less than 8 months, takes those people that he inherited and turns them into state champions. I think that's the most remarkable story that I have ever seen.
Coach Mayfield just instilled this incredible will to win. The lessons, life lessons that he taught us that carried me through a lifetime, never quit. It wasn't about getting beat, it was about not quitting. Everybody gets beat, everybody gets knocked down, everybody gets hit so hard that the first thing hits the ground is the back of your helmet and your shoulder pads, but it's what you do next that's the big deal. And you get up, you get back in the huddle, and you go get that guy again. And so preparation, both mentally and physically, we were in better shape than any other team.
Conaway's memories of 1965 are special, as are his days in Washington, D.C. as a United States representative since 2005.
Who knew 50 years later I'd be a member of Congress, and that this would be a conversation starter for many of my, it's in my bio, my introduction, a high school team that was really outnumbered and outgunned and wasn't supposed to do what they did, and you overachieve and you get beyond yourself and do things that individually none of us would have been capable of, but as a team, as a group, you put together those efforts on Friday night and then through the 4 games in the playoffs to be successful. A lot of fortunate turns and twists in there to make that happen, but much of it was the sweat that we did in August.
That football season was awesome. It was exceptional, and we really didn't know how exceptional till it was over.
Everybody on that team, regardless if you were first team or second team or third, whatever, I honestly believe that particular person thought that they were the best at their position or whatever their responsibility was. Anybody in the state of Texas. And there was no way in the world we were going to lose. We couldn't lose. There was no way in the world anybody could beat us.
Coach Mayfield and all of the coaches always telling all of us around here, we own the fourth quarter. We trained for the fourth quarter. You taught me how to hang with it. You helped me get through Vietnam. So I used every day of my existence while I was over there as though it was a fourth quarter each day. And by doing so, I brought all of my men back except for one,
I love my years at Borger, but the highlight of my career, I got to be honest, was the 1965 state championship. Everything that went with it, knowing so many great players and fans.
The way G. Mayfield impacted me as a human being and as a man, carried forth these past 50 years and has stood me in good stead.
Conaway often talks about the annual baseball game in Washington, D.C. between Republicans and Democrats for bragging rights.
We play a congressional baseball game every year, and this is the Permian uniform that I wore that year. I got a base hit. We'll have about 8,000 people in the stands. This is at National Stadium. I wore the Middle Lee jersey this year, and I got a base hit. And so this was my 12th year to play. We were on a 7-game losing streak to the Democrats. It was miserable, coming from a program that I don't like to lose.
Recently, Conaway was at a Republican baseball practice on June 17th in Virginia when shots were fired at him and several of his fellow congressmen, including 3 others from Texas who escaped unharmed.
The first shot rang out, actually it sounded more like an explosion than a shot. Most of us kind of looked to see what that was, if there's something blown up.
The lone gunman shot 4 people, including Majority Whip Steve Scalise. For Conaway, it was a scene he won't soon forget.
This is the first time I've ever been shot at. I did basic training in the Army, and you go through low crawl drills while they shoot over your head, but they're not actually shooting at you. So this is the first time I've been shot at in anger, and it's a really weird sensation.
In the House of Representatives, Congressman Conaway serves as the chairman on the House Committee on Agriculture. He also serves on the House Armed Services Committee and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Kelsey Nelson.